Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and let's talk natural wines. So I've brought to you guys here an official winemaker, Lucia. Welcome. Thank you so much. I wrangled her away from her guests, and I really want you to talk to my community about natural wines, because in my community we haven't discussed this enough, and we have so many people that are being health conscious and they don't understand what the difference between natural wine and conventional wine are. So thank you for being here. I appreciate this. And we've been here in Tuscany for a couple days now, and talk a little bit about your winery and the name, and so that people know who you are and what you guys are about.
My winery is called Podere Alberese. We are not too far from Siena, in the heart of Tuscany, at around 500 meters above the sea level. You can see that it's pretty breezy and sunny all the time. These are the conditions of growth of our vineyards. We work on organic farming, and we started in 2006 on organic farming. So we've never been conventional. But organic does not mean actually natural, because what you can do in the winery after you have harvested the grapes, when you work on organic farming and you release certified organic wines, is pretty similar to what you can do in conventional
wines. And just to stop you for 1 second, when we were here yesterday, she was giving us a tour and explaining that you can grow grapes organically, and you can take those organic grapes, and then when you turn them into wine, you can use all the chemicals that you want. You can call it organic wine.
Yeah.
But that's still not a health wine, in my opinion. That's still not a natural wine. We want to look a little deeper at how we can educate my community on what a true natural wine is. So can you talk a little bit about what would a winemaker do after they grow the organic grapes? How do you keep it natural?
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to say that it's something very personal, because there is no certification for natural wines.
Right.
So you will never find on the label of a wine that it's natural, and that's a problem, because when you buy a bottle from a shelf, then it's hard to know. So the best thing is to know the producer.
That's right. That's right. We do that at the farmers market. We talk to the farmers, we talk to the people, and then we know their passion. So agreed.
And so for us, being natural means, first of all, avoid the use of all the chemicals, all the additional products that you can use during the winemaking process, and let the grape juice become wine naturally. Of course, we keep it under control. We keep the whole process under control, because we want to have a final wine which is clean, and in perfect conditions. We always try to keep a very classic taste in our wines.
It tastes amazing. You can tell it. You can tell when you taste your wine. We talked yesterday about the mineral taste because of the grapes being grown in certain soils, and it definitely has a different taste than a conventional wine.
But anyway, the first step is the fermentation. So I have to say that the very first step is the selection on the grapes, because you can't work naturally with good results if you use low quality grapes. So the first thing is that we make a very strict selection on the grapes at the harvest, and we use only the best grapes for all our wines. Even the most simple wine is made with the best grapes. It simply comes from different vineyards, and so if you have a very good raw material,
you start with a good product,
then you can really do a certain job, like for example make spontaneous fermentations with no additional selected yeast.
Yes.
Because there are on good grapes there are good yeasts,
Yep.
and so you can expect a good fermentation from them.
And sulfites, so we talked a little bit about sulfites yesterday, and I know a lot of you guys are concerned about sulfites in wine, and my understanding is you can never get all the sulfites out, but you can avoid adding more. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's another thing that if you work properly and you're really careful about what you're doing on the wine, you can really reduce the amount of sulfites you need to use to preserve the wine. Because sulfites are preservatives, and so they are important to be sure that the wine is going to be the same even if I ship it to the United States or to Hong Kong.
Yeah, it keeps the integrity.
But the level of sulfites may vary a lot. For example, if during the production process there's a lot of oxygen getting into the wine, you lose a lot of the active part of the sulfites. So on the other hand, if you work protecting the wine during the production process, then you can keep the active amount of sulfites higher, and so you don't need to add more
as much. Yeah. And then we talked about yeast, and one of the things that I know from just studying wine, and we live near Napa Valley, is that a lot of the yeasts in Napa are GMO filled yeast. They're not healthy yeast. Talk a little bit about using more of a native yeast to your property.
Native yeasts certainly give a plus to the wine, because since they come from the vineyards, they lay on the surface of the grapes, and so the yeasts we have in our vineyards are certainly different from any other yeast on the market and in other vineyards. It makes the combination of grapes grown in a certain place and the yeast that lay on the surface of those grapes make the wine even more unique.
Yeah, amazing. And more natural, because you're not bringing in such a conventionally raised yeast.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then talk about alcohol percentage. So we talked about this yesterday, and I know a lot of you who follow Dry Farm Wines, who is one of the people we recommend back in America. You like this white is 12.5% alcohol. Explain why you tried to keep the alcohol low.
Well, what we like as consumers, because first of all we are consumers of wine, is the drinkable character of wines. And the freshness. One of the main things that affect this thing is the alcohol percentage. Especially for the white wine, we like fresh, crisp white wines, and we try to release a wine with this features.
Yes. Easy to drink, doesn't make you doesn't give you a hangover.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is, so here in Italy, most wines you don't get a hangover like you do when you go to Napa and you start bringing big cabs. Why is that?
It can be due to the use of a lot of chemicals in the wine and to the level of sulfites. I have to say that on organic farming, when you release a certified organic wine, you have lower limits than conventional wines in terms of sulfites. Then under that limit you can work.
Right.
So for us, we in general, our wines are usually around 40 milligrams per liter of total sulfites, which is very low.
Yeah, so it's the sulfites that people have a reaction to with a hangover.
Many times.
Yeah.
For example, sweet wines contain more sulfites because you have to keep it stabilized because the residual sugar can be fermented by other yeasts or bacteria that can be still in the bottle. if you want to protect the wine from any secondary fermentation, you have to use more sulfites or a very or a filtration. So
it's the mass production too. So you're a smaller winery. So those mass produced wineries are going to have to use more sulfites. They're going out to more places.
Yeah, mass productions usually tend to follow a standard process of production. So of course you have a list of things to do. The technician gives the workers the recipe of the wine.
Right, so it has to be more cookie cutter is what we call it.
So it's not a critical approach to winemaking.
Yeah, interesting. So a couple interesting things just to point out, and we talked about this before. So we're going to link a study in here that they showed that when you look at natural wines compared to conventional wines, 20 minutes after a person drank it and 40 minutes after they drank it, the people who drank the natural wines had a lower blood alcohol than the people who had conventional. And part of that could be the sulfites, could be the chemicals.
Probably the combination of the reaction to many things.
Then I also read a study this morning on how when you spray your grapes, it lowers the polyphenol count. It lowers the antioxidant count because that grape doesn't have to be as strong to fight off bugs. So it doesn't have to grow the same amount of nutrients in it because it's being sprayed and the spray is killing the bugs, not the actual innate qualities inside the grape. So these are actually healthier for you, less chemicals, you're not getting a hangover. I mean, it's, to me, I don't want to call it a health food, but it really is a different approach to drinking, totally different. It's almost like they're two different types of drinks, the conventional wine and the natural wine. Would you agree?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I want to say that you can really find, if you like the taste of conventional wines and you want to drink natural wines, it doesn't mean that you have to change your taste, because you can find on the market good natural wines with the right integrity and a pleasant taste, pleasant perfumes. Maybe it's harder, but it's possible. So if you want to get closer to natural wines, it doesn't mean that you have to change your taste.
Right, yeah. But they do taste different.
Yeah, they taste better.
I think so too. I think so too, but it's a different taste. And if you're
they
used
have more
to,
character.
Yes, agreed. So know that if you're making the switch over, it might take some time to actually make that change. Yeah. So okay, let me finish up with this thought. How many hours a week do you work on the winery?
Well, I can't actually tell.
So she told us she goes home at 9 o'clock at night. What time do you get here?
Well, I get here at 8 in the morning, and sometimes I leave. It depends. I mean, I work 7 days a week.
Yes,
probably,
exactly.
But then it's a type of work which is really different from any other thing, because maybe your head is always working a little bit, even if you're far away, and but it's another kind of commitment.
Yeah, it's a different type of commitment. It's we call it a labor of love.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah, because you're actually creating something.
Yeah.
So, and it gives you a different satisfaction.
That's right. But one of the things, and I will encourage my community to do this as well, is that we love supporting people like you, because we want to be, when we go to our farmers market, we want to know the farmer. There's so much love and passion and work that goes into good food and good wine. So we will leave the link in the notes. So if people want to order from you, they have wine, of course, which we oh my gosh, we were drinking this yesterday. Your reserve was amazing. There were several. I mean, every wine we tasted was amazing. They have olive oil, but if you're in the United States, you can't get that. But if you come to Tuscany, you can.
But we can ship it.
You can ship it. Okay, beautiful. So you could get both of those.
Yes.
So if we leave the link, people can order from you?
Yes, you can simply send me an email, and we do it all the time, so it's very easy.
Okay, beautiful.
Lucia, what varieties do you have?
Oh yeah, what
your
variety?
wine?
What type of wine? What are the grapes that you're using?
We really like, as I said, we think first as consumers. So we really like native grapes, and that's what we did at the beginning of our activity. We have worked as much as possible to preserve the existing grapes of the vineyards that we acquired. So we found Sangiovese, Canaiolo, Trebbiano for the white, and some Malvasia as well. And then when we wanted to plant something new, we decided to find something to look for it in the tradition of Tuscany. So we planted some Foglia Tonda, which is a local variety. It's almost unknown, but it's something that belongs to the past of Tuscany.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And if people want to come get a wine tasting, they will put the link in there, and they just can set that up ahead of time.
Yeah,
if you're in Tuscany or near Tuscany, you want to make a trip out here. So
Chianti is your region.
Yes, we are in the Chianti region.
yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We've been really studying wine and food, my husband and I, for a while, and we just are dedicated to good quality products. So thank you for doing such an amazing job. We are not believers that you just start downing wine. We want it to be as healthy for us and tasty, and the amount of effort that goes into a product like this, I know is hard to measure, but those of us that are drinking it, we're so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Mindy here, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it out to the world. I'm trying to get really cutting-edge health information into people's hands. And if you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe to my channel and you'll get updates as to when I go live and new videos that I put out there. Every Thursday, by the way, I do a live video from here and answer your questions. So if there are questions you want me to answer, join me then and I'll make sure that I address them. Thanks. Have an awesome day.